Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 76 of A Double and Dice. And today we are doing a 2022, the Dice Masters year that was. I don't know. I feel like there's supposed to be a song after that.
Well, maybe you can insert one when you edit.
Right, edit. Air quotes, edit.
Yeah, you
I don't
heard
know what
those.
editing is. What is editing? I don't know.
I
don't
have
know why
no
people
idea.
edit. I don't understand.
I just, straight to tape. That's the way we go.
Yeah.
Do we have enough tape for this episode?
We're editless.
Okay.
We're perfect. No, we're not.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, we train wreck a lot.
Yeah. There's only been a handful of what do we call it? Pop culture train wrecks.
Yeah.
This year. So, but there's been some and it's been fun. So, yeah, the year that was 2022. So we are coming to you today. If you're listening to this on the day of release, this is the holiday known as Boxing Day, which is a North American holiday. I don't know if Boxing Day is a thing in like the UK or anything like that, but
is it even a thing in? I don't think it's a thing in the US.
Oh, it's a huge thing in the US.
It is.
I think so.
Was it? Are you sure?
Oh, maybe this is another pop culture train wreck.
I'm pretty sure I thought it was just a Canadian thing because they don't get Boxing Day off.
Well, it might not be a stat holiday, but I think it's still like a thing. But I don't know because they also have their Black Friday thing in maybe November. So, but apparently Boxing Day is called Boxing Day because it got its name when Queen Victoria held the throne in the 1800s, so in the UK, and is born out of the tradition of wealthy families boxing up gifts to give to the poor.
Oh.
So there you go. Boxing Day celebrated.
So then if it came from the Queen, that's why we probably have it.
Yeah.
Because, we inherit everything from over there.
Oh, why do Americans not celebrate Boxing Day?
I don't think they have it in the U.S.
Aha,
look at that. Yeah. Boxing Day is a public holiday in Trinidad and Tobago. FYI, I was born there.
Oh, there you go.
Because they were a British colony. In Canada, Boxing Day. Yeah. Australia, Hong Kong, Ireland, New Zealand. See, U.S. is not listed on this list.
No, it appears that Boxing Day is not an American thing. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
So
for those of you in the United States of America who are unfamiliar with this Boxing Day tradition, in Canada it's a statutory holiday and it's the day after Christmas, and we all go shopping and get big sales, kind of like your Black Friday.
Yeah. Except you're not actually boxing anything. Maybe people do box away their Christmas stuff.
I don't know. Like in the last bunch of years, all of my Boxing Day shopping's been done online. I'm not going into those crowds. Are you crazy?
No. I did that once. And you know what was it to buy?
What?
So I got up at, I don't know how old I was. Maybe like 17, 18. I don't know. I got up 7 o'clock in the morning. Went over to Walmart. Get there nice and early. To buy a GameCube.
A GameCube, old school.
Yeah, and then after that, never again have I ever gotten up early to go get something.
Yeah, I did it a couple of times in my 20s, but now like you can just do everything online. Like I remember a bunch of years ago, I bought my Xbox 360 with the Kinect through like Best Buy online, and it wasn't even Boxing Day yet. It was still Christmas, and it had this like massive deal, and I just had it shipped to my house.
Yep. Best way to do shopping. Online.
Yeah.
That's how I do my Christmas shopping.
I do as much of my stuff online as possible. I also do a lot of my shopping for Christmas throughout the year because, I don't do a lot of Christmas shopping. My family's not huge gift givers. So my sisters and I don't give each other presents. I get something small for my nieces and nephews. And then mostly I've worked it out with my family. I just put money in a bank account for them so that when they're older, they will have money. So... But I like to have like little small things, and Rob and I usually do a stocking or something like that. So anyway, so I don't have a lot of shopping to do, which makes it easier, which means less shopping and less wrapping and more baking.
That's your thing.
Baking is my thing. So I tried 2 new recipes this year.
Mm.
So I have made for the first time ever snickerdoodles. Have you ever had a snickerdoodle, Kim?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've actually
So
had one.
I know. I think this is an American cookie. So
Okay.
funny sidebar story because we're not far enough off track already. So I got a
This is
year
our year.
ago.
This is our year, of other
Well,
things.
there you go. A year ago, I found this recipe for snickerdoodles, and I was like, I've never had a snickerdoodle. I think this is an American cookie. I want to try and make it. And then, of course, I never got around to it. So then Will, our local game store owner, sends me a message last week, and he's like, do you have a recipe for snickerdoodles? And I was like, I do. I've never made them. I've never had one before, but I have a recipe. So it turns out that his employee, Matthew,
Mm-hmm.
thought snickerdoodles were fake. He didn't think they were a
Oh.
real thing. So anyway, so I'm like, well, this is obviously the sign that I needed from the universe that I need to make snickerdoodles. So I made the recipe and they were really good. So basically, they're just like a vanilla cookie batter that is rolled in like cinnamon sugar. And then when you bake them, they flatten out and get a little bit crinkly on the outside. And they're kind of like a cakey, cinnamony, vanilla type cookie.
Hmm.
So it tasted good. They were very easy to make. I mean, they were horrible. They took forever. Most complicated recipe ever. Just kidding. No, they were actually really easy to make and they were excellent. And then I went to make shortbread. And normally I just make like a traditional shortbread and then I dip it in chocolate. But I found this recipe for salted chocolate chunk shortbread. So I made that and that's my new favorite shortbread recipe.
Hmm.
So yeah. And then I just took pie crust out of the freezer so that I can make pie for Christmas.
Nice.
There will be pumpkin and there will be apple.
I don't do any baking in our house. My husband does all the baking.
Yeah.
I do the decorating.
I love the baking.
I do the
really
decorating
enjoy
and the
it.
taste testing.
I don't like the cleanup. So
Yeah.
the good news is that I have a dishwasher and I can put most of my stuff in the dishwasher. I only have to hand wash a couple of things, so it makes it pretty easy. But yeah, this salted chocolate chip shortbread is pretty astronomical. So anyway, so I'm almost ready for Christmas. I still have some baking to do. And then hopefully this storm, which by the time this episode comes out will be hopefully
We survived.
over. And we survived. Or this is our last podcast ever. There's a
I really doubt that.
huge storm coming into where Kim and I live, coming in starting on the 23rd overnight into Christmas, and they're calling it a storm of the generation, a generational storm, like a once in a generation type storm. So we'll see if that's just media hype or if it's actually a thing.
It actually does happen.
Yeah. So
Or we look out the window and there's like nothing. Like no snow.
completely possible.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to start with freezing rain or rain and then
Rain.
flash freeze and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, not
And then
important.
we're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, it's so cold," and then Matt's gonna say, "But it's colder in Alberta," and then we're gonna be
Oh,
like,
it's so cold in Alberta. Have you heard?
yeah, like minus 28.
No, minus 47.
Oh my gosh.
It was
Feels
minus
like that.
it was
Oh,
minus
dear.
47 today because my my manager's manager, my 2-up or 1-up, I guess, is in Edmonton and Calgary right now, and it was minus 47 this morning.
So do they like close schools?
No.
Like
They're
nobody
used
goes to school in that.
No,
I
they're
guess
used to
so.
it there.
That's true.
Yeah, they're used to it. It's completely normal. I went to Edmonton back in like, I don't know, a bunch of years ago. I was setting up a store in Spruce Grove, which is just outside of West Edmonton. It's like a little suburb. And it was like the first big snowfall of the year, and it was late November. They'd had a mild winter at that point, but when I was there, it was like minus 55 with the wind chill.
That's crazy.
Now, it didn't feel significantly colder than it does down here where we live in southern Ontario. I think because where we are, it's so damp because of the lakes and the precipitation and the humidity and all that sort of stuff. There's a dampness to our cold, whereas the cold out there is just very dry. And when you're cold and you're damp, you feel colder than when you're dry and cold. So
Interesting.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Hmm.
You hear that, Matt? I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, Matt, suck it up.
No, come to Southern
No, Disney's
Ontario.
fine.
It's probably better here.
No, then he'll see it's cold. Then he'll tell us it's cold if he comes here. Like,
Of
wow,
course
it's really
he
cold
is.
here.
Whatever. It's just, anyway, he used to live here. It's fine.
That's true.
So, anyway, so Dice Masters 2022.
Yeah. Stop talking about us.
It's okay to talk about us.
It is.
Our tangents are one of the things that make us charming.
Mm-hmm.
So
Charming, you hear that?
absolutely. So, Kim, what did you think of 2022 in Dice Masters and a Double in Dice podcast history?
In our history. Yeah, we're
Of the
almost
year.
coming up to 3 years, aren't we?
I know, come February.
Yeah, come February, which is not that far away. 3 years of podcasting. This year's been pretty good. I mean, we have never missed an episode.
No,
Ever.
never. We did have one that came out a smidgen late.
Yes, but that was during the world stuff, right?
Yeah, because I couldn't. The internet in Memphis was so bad.
Yeah, we've heard.
I can't. I know.
I'm surprised that hasn't been fixed yet. Anyways,
but it still came out.
Damper.
It still came out. It still came out. It just came out like a day late.
Yeah, we weren't late. It was like a day late,
Yeah.
but we never missed an episode, which has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, our content's been good, and when we get to the dice bag, I think we maybe found another series we have to continue doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's been good. I mean, as for like products, we had two products come out and op kit.
Yeah, 2
Man,
sets.
I miss the op kits. I wish they really need more of those.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I love promo cards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're supposed to have one for Superman, but I don't know what happened with that.
Well, it doesn't look like it got happened. So.
No. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I didn't really get to play much with those sets. So, I mean, I played a little bit with them, but not to say like intensely playing every week, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that I still haven't played with.
Yeah, to explore and things like that. And we really didn't start back the local scene till like what?
After
September?
Memphis?
Yeah.
Right before Memphis?
Right back up playing every week. So, I think maybe next year might be a little different. Who knows? When the new products come out, and then explore some of the cards a little bit more. But I find like I could have probably done some more. But then again, I only team build when I need to, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have a team always ready to go, or I have teams ready to try out, or I'm playing like every week or multiple times a week. Not really. So.
But you did run Weekly Dice Arena almost every week this year.
Yeah, I run Weekly Dice Arena, and I play sometimes if there's odd numbers. I'm the even, so I usually have to have a team ready. But I don't, it's usually golden or modern, right? So
yeah, you get to play with all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play as much in the Weekly Dice Arena. I would say it's maybe like not even that high percentage, but
yeah, you probably play in it less now that you started running it than when you did before.
Yeah. Again, if there's odd, is the only time I ever play.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you don't want someone who signed up to get a buy.
Yeah, I don't like buys.
No, evens are better in this format.
Yeah, I'm the evener.
Yeah, you even things out.
Yeah.
You keep everybody level.
But I mean, overall, it's been good. I mean, I'm not, you know me, I'm not down and damper when there's not much products coming out, because I always think there's so much to explore in the products you have.
There is so much to explore, because every time
it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because every time you add a new set, then especially if you're willing to pull out your old golden stuff, you can figure out how the new stuff interacts with the older stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots to do there, as it comes down to it. I think for me, I definitely didn't play as much Dice Masters as I would have liked to this year, but the Dice Masters I did play, I enjoyed. It really just comes down to time, trying to find the time, and we've been dedicating our Thursday nights at our local game store, and pretty consistently since September. So that's been good. We got a couple of drafts in. We drafted some Superman. We drafted some Tomb of Annihilation when we did our charity event at the friendly local game store down there for the food bank in October. So we drafted some Tomb of Annihilation. So that was great. And we got to draft some Superman, and Superman is the set that I drafted so much.
Yeah, you probably have boatloads and boatloads. I feel like I have more of that dice, extra dice and cards than Dark Phoenix. And we
I
still have stuff to draft for Dark Phoenix supposedly at the store.
we do. There's three.
Yeah.
There's 3 displays. So I have all the cards from Superman except for one full art basic action. I need Throne Car.
Are you sure about that?
Am I sure about that?
Yeah. You sound like you're question marking. You're questioning yourself.
I think it's Throne Car is the one that I don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one, but I have all of the others, including the full art Harley, all the super rares. I have more holes in Dark Phoenix. So I'm missing a lot of super rares in Dark Phoenix, and I don't have any of the full arts from Dark Phoenix. But that's fine. I wasn't going after a full set. It just happened that with all of the drafting we did and being able to trade with people at Gen Con and at Memphis, I was able to fill out that Superman set. So,
well, that it's a good thing, right? Like, though you have so much extra cards and stuff,
I have a lot of extra cards,
get, like rares or extra super rares and stuff. Then you can trade for what you need.
Yeah, or some of those uncommons can sometimes be a little bit more rare. So. But yeah, so I have a few things to trade. I have some Hellfire Gala OP kit cards to trade. I have some extras there because they were the prizes being handed out at Gen Con in Memphis for drafting. So there's some of those on my trade list, and yeah, so it was really fun. I really enjoyed drafting Superman, but I would have liked to have a little bit more variety if I had the opportunity. Like if they had Dark Phoenix or even Infinity Gauntlet. Right? If they'd had either of those sets at those 2 events, I would have drafted either of those because we didn't get to draft or really play Infinity Gauntlet. Like Rob and I did some sealed games with it, but we got so little of it here in Canada and it's no longer available. We can't get it in Canada. And then, Dark Phoenix came out again still when our province was in a lockdown. So there wasn't really any events happening. So we didn't really get a chance to draft that. Again, Rob and I did some sealed games, and that was kind of it. But Superman, we got to draft, which was great.
A lot of Superman. Hey, it's great. It's DC.
Kim loves DC.
I do.
And you know what? You know who else loves DC?
The people.
The people love DC. Yeah. So in preparation for today's episode, I put out a poll on all of the places. Twitter, Facebook, the dmNorthTV Discord, the Dice Station Zebra Discord, and the Dice Masters Online Discord. And in those polls, I asked one question. What is your favorite set that came out in 2022? Superman Kryptonite Crisis or Dark Phoenix Saga? So I am sure that some of the people that voted in multiple places because, a lot of people are in all these different places. But overwhelmingly, Superman Kryptonite Crisis came up on top as the favorite set for the Dice Masters players. So on Twitter, it was 80%, which was the second highest swing. The Dice Station Zebra Discord had 83% in favor of Superman. And then the dmNorthTV Discord had 64% in favor of Superman. On Facebook and on the Dice Masters Online Discord, those 2 polls came out ahead for Dark Phoenix Saga. So 59% of the Facebook poll respondents, 59% on Facebook said Dark Phoenix Saga, and 55% on the Dice Masters Online Discord said Dark Phoenix Saga. But
and it's
really
not very far apart either. Like it's close. On those 2 that off there.
Yeah, 55% versus 45% or 59 versus 41. Whereas on the other places, Twitter, dmNorthTV Discord, and Dice Station Zebra Discord, the Superman ran away with it. So overall, it looks like Superman Kryptonite Crisis is the favorite set of those who answered our poll.
Yeah, that's crazy. I honestly didn't expect that. Not to say like I'm a DC fan, but I didn't expect people to pick Superman.
Well, I know that our friend Oh No It's Red Mage made some comments on his poll comment, and he said, why are people voting wrong by voting for Dark Phoenix? Because there's no Starro in that set.
Well, oh, poor super rare star.
R.I.P.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm assuming, Kim, that you voted for Superman.
No.
You
What do you
didn't.
think? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, of course you did. You got me there.
Yeah. Of course I did. Of course I did.
So I didn't vote in the poll.
Okay, it probably wouldn't have made any difference.
No, but I don't know which set I would pick. I literally don't know.
But there's a few people like that, but not a lot.
Because so this is where I'm thinking. So Superman had some super cool things come out in that set. Of course, we saw the return of the range keyword, right? Which we haven't seen since Warhammer, which is now rotated. There's some new abilities. There's things like the rare Bizarro where you can just drop them in your bag and your opponent puts something in their use pile.
Except during draft when you have 101 dice.
It was only 6. It could have been 8 in Memphis, but I had to draft that super rare for Rob. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to draft that super rare to give to Rob. So that one's really cool. And then also, well, in Dark Phoenix, you had Super Rare Corsair, which also has a cool mechanic, right? Because if there's 4 or more dice KO'd in a single turn, you can put them in your prep area. So I liked the stuff that was different, and each set had little things that were different. Dark Phoenix had the return of certain abilities, like the Dark Phoenix Global, pay a bolt and KO target character that you control. The next die you purchase costs 2 less, minimum 1, which was what the Blue Eyes White Dragon Global from Yu-Gi-Oh. But I didn't play then, right? So there was a lot of, let's call it, repeat abilities for established players. But for people like myself that didn't play with those sets, or certainly was not anywhere near as competitive level or Dice Masters savvy as I am now, not to say that I'm, amazing or anything, but I've got a better handle on it now than I did when I started playing. But we didn't play with those cards. I didn't have Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't have a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'd never heard of this thing. Like, there's all kinds of stuff in Dark Phoenix that is, what does Laurier call it? A master set? He equates, he says it's like the equivalent to a master set in Magic where they re-release a bunch of abilities. Dark Phoenix did that, but then added in new stuff. And then Superman brought back stuff that we hadn't seen in a while and also brought in some new stuff. And I really don't know. Like, if I had to pick one set or the other, I don't know that I could.
But I feel like the more things you geared to for your teams is probably more geared on Dark Phoenix stuff. More than probably.
Yeah, I mean, so this year when I was prepping for Memphis, for example, I wanted to use as many Infinity Gauntlet cards as I could, because that set came out in 2020, and quite frankly, it's probably not going to be around much longer from a competitive level, right? So I ran Super Rare Thor, and if I didn't run Super Rare Thor, I was going to run Master Mold. So again, in that comes from Dark Phoenix, and a lot of the support for Master Mold as well as Thor came from Dark Phoenix. But Superman had some cool stuff too, like Super Rare Harley is amazing, right? But I also like Super Rare Jubilee from Dark Phoenix Saga. So I like stuff from both sets. So, and I'm also really bad at picking favorites.
Me too.
I don't actually like, which is funny that I created this poll, because I don't actually like being asked to pick a favorite anything. Like, if someone says to me, "What's your favorite band?" I'm like, "Well, how long do you have?" Because I don't really have a favorite.
What genre are you talking about?
Don't ask me about a genre. Oh my gosh, that's even worse. Like, I just can't.
A band from every genre.
Not every genre, but I have a very, well, let's say I like a lot of different styles of music. And a lot of the music I like, you can't really quantify as a specific genre. And then I can't pick a favorite. Like, I did this work thing once where you had to pick. That was the goal. It was like a, what do you call them? Icebreaker for an event.
Yeah.
So you had to pick. So they're looking at me and they say, Beatles or Rolling Stones. And I'm like, how am I supposed to choose from that? I can't pick one of those. And I'm like, can't I just be in the middle? And they're like, no, you have to pick. Like, well, if I have to pick, then I'm going to pick the Beatles. But I don't want to have to pick. both of those bands are good. Right? So anyway, I like lots of different things, and I don't like being pigeonholed, and I don't like being whatever. But most people answered the poll and did so quite happily, so we appreciate that.
Yes, thank you for answering that for us.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who did that. Where I randomly just massive spammed everybody with polls.
And then Kim's like, "What's the poll for?
She's like, "What's happening? What's going
What's
on?
going on? What's the poll for? Podcast?
Why are we
What?
polling
We're doing a
people?"
podcast for polls."
So yeah. So Superman for you, and what tipped Superman for you? Is it just because it's DC, or was there specific cards and abilities?
I think there's some. I think it was cards and abilities. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Tipped it for me. I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I used much in Dark Phoenix, other than probably everybody's favorite Dark Phoenix itself by the Global.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, being a fan, but also I think there's more cards I probably geared to there.
So for next weekly Dice Masters, I will challenge you to build a
Weekly
team.
Dice Arena, you mean?
No, Weekly Dice Masters, the local friendly game store.
Oh, right, yeah.
I challenge you to build a team exclusively out of Dark Phoenix.
Wow.
And I will do the same.
Out of Superman?
No, well, I can do Superman if you want, but we could both do Dark Phoenix, and then we could do Superman another night.
All right. Just that.
Just Dark Phoenix.
Okay. I don't even know what my win count will even be. All right.
There's quite a lot to choose from.
Well, yeah, there is.
And you just said you haven't played with as many of the cards as you would have liked, so.
Yeah, only probably the most common ones.
And you also said that you wanted more themes in our weekly events. So
I did say that.
So
yes.
There you go. Next
the
event.
Only one who said that.
Theme, build from Dark Phoenix.
See, I like themes because it makes you build things to think differently.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I don't like themes because I never have time to build my teams anyway, so I'd rather just take 15 minutes and throw something together.
I thought you were going to say I don't like to think differently.
No, because I don't have time to build
you have to think to do it.
I'm like, oh, I have a theme? Oh, I don't know. How am I going to get this done? In like 15 minutes? Okay, here's just a bunch of cards. Good to go. Right? So, anyway. But yeah, so Dark Phoenix will be the theme.
Okay.
And then we can do a Superman theme.
Cool.
Maybe we could do an Infinity Gauntlet theme.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll do all of them, and then we can do
Secret Wars will come out.
Well, if we're going weekly, that's only 3 weeks worth of themes. And if you haven't heard, Kim, what was the news about Secret Wars?
It didn't come out on December 15th.
No.
And it got pushed to, we think, well, it was then pushed to February. But now, there was a date about February. But
there was chatter about February, but there wasn't anything in the solicits. The solicits still said December.
But I think it's what, May now?
It now says May.
Along with the Origins pack, right?
Yeah, the Origins pack and the draft packs are supposed to come out at the same time. And interestingly, it was in May of last year that we had Jimmy on the podcast, and we announced the redesign with support of WizKids, and huge thanks to WizKids for providing us spoilers and content and the opportunity to provide exclusive announcements to you, our listeners. So we had Jimmy come on in May, and he and I and you, we all talked about the Secret Wars redesign, the new art, the new style of the card, the thought process that went into that. Really, really exciting, and looking forward to seeing that come out next year now, about a year after we talked about it on the podcast.
Look at that. Time flies by. That's fast, doesn't it?
It does. But with that said, that was our most popular episode of 2022. Until this one comes out, because I'm sure that us talking about Christmas baking and holiday shopping and polls.
Could you imagine? Boom!
It's going to just shoot up. No, so the top episode of 2022 was Can We Let You In on a Little Secret, which came out on May 30th, 2022. And that was the one that we recorded when I was in BC, when my sister was having her baby.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that was a really interesting episode. Lots of stuff going on. So So yeah, so that was that. And then speaking of stats, should we talk a little bit about stats, Kim?
Sure.
So obviously, this is our 26th episode of the year, episode number 76. And as Kim mentioned earlier, we didn't miss a single episode this year. We had approximately 3,000 downloads at the time of recording this episode of our podcast this year. So huge thanks to all of you that are listening and downloading and commenting and sharing all of your thoughts with us. We really do appreciate that. And we have had our episodes downloaded in 5 continents. Do you want to guess which ones?
Never think. Well, right in front of my eyes.
Oh, okay. So you're looking at the sheet. So
I can't guess, but I'm surprised about one of them. I did not know.
Yeah. So North America is where about 75% of our downloads come from. And then that encompasses, of course, Canada, US. I don't think anything comes out of Mexico, but technically it's North America. Then you have Europe as our next one. Then you have Australia. And then you have Asia. There's a pocket of people that are downloading in Asia. And then there were a couple of episodes downloaded in South America.
Yeah, so. Asia one surprised me.
Yeah, there is a small group of folks that play, I think, in Korea. So maybe they're listening. If they're listening, hi. Thanks for listening. Hello to our Asian listeners, and please feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you, how you're playing Dice Masters and where you're playing Dice Masters and how you're getting product and all that fun stuff. So yeah, reach out and let us know. We had 9 female characters in Dice Masters episodes this year.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it would have been a little bit more.
Yeah, I counted them, unless I miscounted, but it looked like 9.
Okay.
And then we had 2 live on location recordings where I did the sound bites and grabbed content from folks in Gen Con in Indianapolis, and then again in Memphis at Worlds. And we were able to put that together into some episodes, which were also very well received by our listeners. And we really appreciate everyone that participated in those. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our highlight reel year in the review. So yeah, but I think overall, it was good to see 2 Dice Master sets get released. I know we're waiting a long time for these because of various pandemic related delays and other sorts of things. It was really exciting to be part of the announcement of the Secret Wars redesign, and really looking forward to getting that in hand when it comes out. And seeing what new and exciting abilities continue to come out of Secret Wars with the spoilers. Not that I'm paying a ton of attention. I want to be a little bit surprised. But there is really great content if you are interested in seeing spoilers and learning more about Secret Wars. I would suggest you head over to the Ministry of Dice YouTube channel, because they're doing some really great work over there. Chris is putting some fantastic videos together, highlighting new cards, highlighting new characters, and sharing more and more content all the time. So really great work over at the Ministry of Dice by Chris and Andy, and really appreciate them sharing all that content with us.
Yep, I still don't look at spoilers.
Unless we're making the spoilers.
Unless we're doing the spoiling.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the last thing, if we want to talk about the year in the review, is the dmNorthTV crew is going to be launching an article today, Kim.
Yeah, not today.
Well, but today, the day of the podcast release.
Yes. Look, she's thinking future already.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are going to be releasing a top 5 cards for each of us that are favorites.
So that's right.
Took a little bit of thinking.
You really struggled with that.
I really struggle with it. And secret, I'm still writing it. I'm on a deadline, people. I'm on a crunch now here to get it done. But yeah, I had a tough time, and I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I didn't play much of the cards out there and really play variety of them. But yeah, I struggle. But I'm just gonna say, don't hate when you see my section. And
no one's gonna hate, Kim. It's your opinion. I found it difficult to narrow it down to 5.
Wait, you had trouble to even pick 5?
Yeah, because
you picked 10, right?
Because there were so many.
Yeah,
there were so many I wanted to do, and I couldn't really decide what I wanted. And then there was the whole controversy around Infinity Gauntlet. So spoiler alert. Justice for #Spider-Man Forever.
If you couldn't do that one, and I couldn't do Orbital Strike, so too bad for me.
But Orbital Strike came out a lot earlier
I know.
than Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity Gauntlet did not come out in a year where we had the opportunity to do a top 5. We didn't do a top 5 in 2020.
No.
But in fairness, if I'd done a top 5 in 2020, they all would have been Spider-Man. Rare Spider-Man, Rare Spider-Man, Rare Spider-Man, Rare Spider-Man. No, I was kidding. Sort of. But yeah, so when Rare Spider-Man rotates, I will be sad. I still really enjoy that card. However, you can check out the article over at dm-north.com, and it will also be linked on all of the socials, as it always is when we put out stuff. And you can head over there and take a look at it and see all of our top 5 picks, what we chose same, what we chose differently, and what we felt were the best cards for us, or the cards that made Dice Masters the most fun for us in 2022.
Yeah. Cool. Anything
All
else?
right. I think that's it. Like, I enjoy getting back to playing Dice Masters in person. I enjoyed having the opportunity to travel and play Dice Masters again at Gen Con and at Memphis. I'm looking forward to more events in 2023. Hopefully we'll get more notice. Hopefully we'll get Canadian Nationals back.
Oh yeah.
That would be really great.
Nice. Yeah.
And looking forward to the launch of Secret Wars, and then following that, House of X.
So our wish list is That's back.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see in 2023. I'd like to see the return of Canadian Nationals, and I'd like to see the new product release, and maybe OP kits. I know a while back there was some conversation about, monthly OP kits returning, perhaps in a slightly different way and more similar perhaps to how they did the Dark Phoenix OP kit with the Hellfire Gala. That was fantastic. It was really great when we finally got access to those cards and had the opportunity to win them. So that would be sort of my wish list for next year.
Yeah.
And Origin packs and some marketing support to help us get more players into this game that we love so much, that I can give my extras to.
I know. I pulled out, like, remember in the campaign boxes how they had those inserts with all, you could put your dice and stuff?
Yeah.
So I had extras of those because I reconfigured my campaign boxes to fit the dice. So all my spares are sitting in there. And every single slot, every single thing is filled of dice to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And the most heaviest is Superman.
I bet.
The most.
I have a
and
lot
I
of
was
extra
just
dice.
like, so if I get more, I have nowhere to put it.
Yeah. I hope they start making Zen bins again.
Yeah. You gotta get somebody out there to start making them. Or make them yourself. Look at that. You can go into business.
Yeah, I have no idea how to manufacture anything aside from dice bags. I don't have any experience with plastics.
Yeah. Yeah, the Zen bins are good. I mean, they're good for carrying around, but they weren't really my storage solution.
No, but they're mine, though.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dice bags, should we jump into the very last dice bag of 2022, Kim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got some feedback from episode 75 from some of the usual places. So let's start with everyone's fave hero, Donnie, on
the YouTube.
And Donnie replied to our episode 75, which was about the partners in crime. I've often thought about trying to do a 2-card format that has a dynamic duo for our local group. I think something like this would be fun for that. I've never used the Huntress cards, but I have played around with the Power Girl. I liked the one that gives you extra dice during the clear and draw. So thanks, Donnie. That's interesting, because I didn't play with the Power Girl. I'd only played with the Huntress. So, yeah, but there were some cool looking cards there with Power Girl. So we heard from our unnamed Dice Masters expert, aka Jackalope Span, on direct message via Discord. And he said that the common Huntress was really good, which was my favorite Huntress. The when fielded and you KO'd. Well, you dealt the damage based on her A to target character die, but it could be your character die or your opponent's character die. He said, definitely great in a Batman draft. Better if you also got Firefly.
Oh, I love Firefly.
Yeah. But he also saw it in some constructed teams. He doesn't think he's seen any of the other cards used much at all. He also thought that we might have paired Power Girl with Harley Quinn. He thinks there's something there, but he's not a DC expert, though.
There is, but
Yeah.
Harley Quinn has a lot of cards.
Harley Quinn needs her entire episode.
Yeah, she needs her own.
Yeah. So there's also a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy duo,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, and
She has a lot of cards too.
yeah, and I think she would deserve her own episode at that point as well.
Yeah.
He said that there's an HBO cartoon of Harley and Ivy.
I think I've heard of that or seen it.
Mm-hmm. He said generally he thinks that Power Girl and Huntress are just lesser characters anyway and have likely teamed up with plenty of others. He just knows the Power Girl in Harley's team pack have both in the art. Harley Quinn and Power Girl are in the art on the Power Girl card. So I didn't know that. I don't pay enough attention to the art.
I do and I don't. It depends if it captures me or not.
Well, that's it, right? Like I paid attention to the art on the Dark Phoenix Saga OP kit, the Hellfire Gala OP kit cards, because they were so drastic and different. But on an average card, I don't pay a ton of attention to the art unless it really captures me, or in the foil it's super special or something like that. So, but others like Nick, Jackalope Spam, pay a lot of attention to the art, which is awesome because that's what it's there for. I'm hoping that maybe with the new layout in Secret Wars, I'll pay a little bit more attention to the art. It'll capture me in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then finally, we heard from past guest Craig Hubner.
Mm-hmm.
Craig,
it's been a while since we've heard from Craig.
Well, I saw Craig in Memphis.
Yes, you did, yeah.
Right? So that was lovely. It was really great to catch up with Craig, and he's such a lovely, lovely man. And you heard him on our podcast, and he was kind enough to sit down with me and record some audio. And he said, hearing about characters that team up is pretty cool. If you would be willing, I'd appreciate hearing your take on Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman working together. So that could be something that we will share.
I didn't even know they were a duo. So I had trouble like finding female duos, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because there's not a lot of content, right? If you don't know what you're looking for. Yeah. And like Harley and Ivy made sense, but again, there's so much to talk about with both of those big characters. Yeah. You can't do that in a single episode. It's too long. They need to be separate. So so I'm looking forward to doing more content on female characters in Dice Masters next year.
Or Partners in Crime. Now we have a new series.
Yeah, the Partners in Crime series. Maybe some more audio Out of the Shadows. We got some good response to that episode.
Yeah, so if you do know any other duos, let us know because I hardly know any.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. And then we got one last piece of feedback, and we got it not long before we recorded this episode, and we got it verbally.
Yes.
So we were on chatting with Rob L, and he was mentioning that we had talked about Steppenwolf in our last episode, and he said, I don't know if you remember. I didn't. Did you remember, Kim?
I didn't know.
That Steppenwolf was the villain in the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
So I didn't have any recollection of that at all. But I did say, but they're a band. And he's like, yes, they are a band. And then he said that they have a Canadian connection, which I didn't know. So John Kay of Steppenwolf was Toronto based, and he's the singer-songwriter. And of course, we live near Toronto. And the songwriter of their big song, which also I did not realize this was their song, because this is not the music I typically listen to. But of course I know it. It's Born to Be Wild. So the songwriter's stage name, is Mars Bonfire. And he is actually from Oshawa, which is my hometown, just east of Toronto. And there's a connection there with Steppenwolf and Oshawa and Toronto and Canada, in addition to the DC, the Marvel. Oh my God. Pop culture train wreck. The DC Comics universe.
The worst one to make.
I can't believe I did that.
Don't mix up DC and Marvel. Okay, speaking of stories. Okay, side story now. So I've been playing those Lego Marvel games with Noah, right?
Okay.
My son Noah, he's 6 years old. So we did Lego Marvel superheroes. We went through it. We finished it together as much as we can, right? Now he likes running around the city and doing nothing. So then I'm like, hey, look, Super Lego Marvel Avengers is on sale. I'm like, do you want me to download that? And he's like, yeah. And now I don't remember where I'm going with the story. What we talking about? I totally don't remember where I'm going with the story.
I don't know.
What did you key me to say about this?
I was talking about Steppenwolf.
After that? Never mind. Oh my god.
Mars Bonfire?
I completely forgot. I freaking forgot. Maybe it'll come back to me. I can't believe I forgot my own story. It had to do with the connection to what you just talked about, but now I remember.
Born to be Wild?
No, I forgot. Anyways, we're playing the Avengers one now. Oh, and I remember. So he always asks me, he's like, how come we never unlock Flash? I'm like, Noah, we're going to have a serious conversation now. Okay, we're playing Marvel.
Yep.
Flash is from DC. Like
He's
Batman.
6. He doesn't know.
I know. He's going to get educated. Like Wonder Woman and Batman. And, I'm naming characters he would know, right?
Right.
And then he's like, okay, DC. And then he named it again. He goes, Mom, how come we don't have the Flash? I'm like, Noah. Do I have to go find Lego DC superheroes? Which I think they somehow something have about that.
I think you're going to have to do that.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, let's go play DC. But
I mean, that's my Lego story. Batman's a whole thing, right? So
yes, they have a Lego Batman series. I do have 1 or 2 of them, which we started playing, but it's the older version, I think, from like PlayStation 3. So like the movement on it, I don't like. Like how you move around two players at once. It's kind of like how they did the screen stuff is not nice, smooth, I guess you can say. But I know they made like a villains one recently or something. It came out, but yeah, I'll have to go digging and finding if they actually made like a Marvel one, like a DC to the Marvel one, but with obviously the DC characters.
Yeah,
I have to go looking to see. But
I will say that as far as favorites go, I do have a favorite Batman, and it is Lego Batman from the Lego Batman movie.
From the Lego
Batman movie.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
It's Will Arnett.
Yeah.
That voices that character. And I think that if I had to, it would be really hard because Batman 66, is kind of an iconic Batman and I grew up with that. But Lego Batman just brings something to Batman for me.
A funny Batman. Because he was in the Lego, what was the one with the Awesome song?
Well, that was the Lego movie, but
yeah, the Lego movie. Yeah,
but Batman, he was in the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah,
right.
But he was Batman also in the Lego movie. Yeah, movie.
Was he?
Did he start off? Yeah, he started off in the Lego movie, and then I think he made Lego Batman. Didn't it come after the Lego movie? And he did his own movie.
The Lego Batman movie came after the Lego movie.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, but he was in Lego movie.
Oh, I didn't. Batman. Well, it's been a very long time since I watched the Lego movie, but I definitely know that everything was awesome. So it is definitely hard to beat Adam West as Batman because I grew up with Adam West as Batman.
Yeah.
But Will Arnett as Lego Batman is he just brings something.
It's a different kind of...
Just brings something to the Batman character. And then... But then Robert Pattinson was really good too in the Batman. And now again, I'm having trouble. Emo Batman. But he was really good. And now I'm having trouble picking a favorite. But definitely Will Arnett is in the top 3.
Well, there's your top 3 right there. It's just like, which one is number 1?
It depends on for 3. Depends on my mood. They're tied for first place. They all bring something different to the Batman.
I'm feeling emo-y.
Well, Robert Pattinson plays like Batman Year One, right? Like
younger version.
Young Batman, right? Yeah. Adam West is like goofy 60s Batman, and then Will Arnett is like depressed, lonely Batman.
Yeah.
Playing his guitar.
Batman. Yeah.
So anyway, but
okay, sorry, side story. Now I remember. Oh my gosh, that's a bad.
Yeah, because because it was about me mixing up DC and Marvel, which I'd already forgotten.
Yeah.
I'd already forgotten.
And my son saying he was mixing up DC and Marvel.
But the difference is that your son is 6 and he doesn't know the difference, whereas I am much older than 6. And I do know the difference. I just said the wrong word. So,
Oh, don't worry. I educate him when he makes a terrible mistake like that.
well, absolutely, we need to educate him. He needs to know the difference.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
So yeah, so we really appreciate everyone that has taken time to provide feedback, that has listened to our podcast this year and has taken time out to hear us chat about Dice Masters and female characters and new releases and all of the things that are going to be coming up for Dice Masters. And I think for 2023, those are the things we're looking for. More product, more releases, more games, more fun, right? More travel.
More fun.
Kim has to come to Memphis this year,
Next year?
2023.
Did you say this year?
Well, I said for 2023.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if it's in Memphis, if it's not in Memphis, then you have to go wherever it is. So.
And if you ever want to hear us talk about anything, you let us know.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear what you would like to hear from us, like Craig did with his suggestion of the team up between Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman. So.
Yes, we like the underdogs.
Yeah. And then with the new product coming out next year, we'll have the Origins packs, we'll have the updated comprehensive rules book, which should be available online. There'll be lots of new stuff to talk about in Secret Wars and how it interacts. So a lot of updates to the rules. We may have to do an update to our rules series and our team building series. So there's lots of great stuff coming down the pipeline for 2023. But we'd also like to hear, like Kim said, what you'd like to hear, because we are here to make this a positive experience for you listening to Dice Masters. So I think on that note, I think that's all we've got today, Kim. Do you want to run through local events?
Yeah, so Tuesday night still happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, weekly Dice Arena in the Dice Masters Discord. You can check out the formats for every week, themed formats, building challenges, you know. So that continues on. So we'll be back next week. And January 21st is Breath Weapon X Fest 5.
Mm-hmm.
The affiliation tournament. So you can visit their website, and all the details will be in our show notes. So that's coming up. That's 1 month away from today.
Awesome.
Of the recording of this episode. And I think that's it.
I think that's it. So any last words for 2022, Kim?
No, just thank you to all our listeners, and Happy New Year to everyone.
That's right. And we hope that you enjoyed your holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. And looking forward to many more games of Dice Masters in 2023. So you can reach out to us in all sorts of places. We would love to hear from you, as we talked about earlier, and as our listeners do, so that we can talk about the Dice Bag every week, or every 2 weeks. You can reach out to us by email, old-fashioned way. Send us an email to dm-north.com. You can find us on our website, dm-north.com. You can click on the episode post like Craig did, and you can leave a comment there. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Hive Social and TikTok at dmNorthTV. And you can also join our dmNorthTV Discord. The link will be in the show notes, and you can join the conversation about Dice Masters there. You can also find us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/dmNorthTV, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dmNorthTV. So until next time, on a double and dice.